What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. On this week's episode, I have the wonderful producer, electronic, experimental, jazz-infused musician, WOLFZiE is on the show. I was first introduced to him. I guess I had known about him in the scene for a little while, but he put out a new album called Homebody Friends that is absolutely phenomenal. I listened to it so many times when it first came out. When I first heard it, I was stoned off my ass sitting in the shower, just blaring it on a little iHome, and it was the jams, man. It was the jams. So WOLFZiE is on this week, and I hope you guys really enjoy him. But before we get to that, you know what it's time for, man. Our little ad for this show, Cope Notes. They are a brand new self-help solution and mental health resource. They're text-based, no downloads or logins. You get one text per day of some kind of positive affirmation that helps you kind of target at those negative thinking cycles that we fall into, man. Personally written by someone who lived with mental illness. And it's always private and secure. You don't need any sensitive personal information to give to them. Man, it's also randomly timed, which is really cool. They catch you off guard. You never know when you're going to suddenly have a bright burst of positivity laid right into your life, man. And it's also a gift. It's also a perfect gift, man, for anybody who you know who needs to get off their ass and do something with their life, man. It happens. We all fall into those ruts. Give this to somebody and make them feel a little bit better about themselves, man. Help a motherfucker out. It's also very cost effective, man. Less than 33 cents a day. That's 33 cents per text. That is less expensive than we spent on Cha-Cha back in the day, motherfuckers. Less than Cha-Cha. No sign-up or cancellation fees. You can get a free 7-day trial. Text COPE, C-O-P-E, to 33222. And, yeah, man, Cope Notes. Let's do it. And please, motherfucker, welcome WOLFZiE. All right, well, welcome. How's it going, man? Here we go.
Man, pretty good.
You started.
I feel pretty good. Just getting off of work. So, we all know how that goes.
Totally.
Really excited to be here. I was looking forward to this all week.
Dude, I know. I'm so happy that you, I sent you a message on Instagram and then immediately, was it a message or I think I just said something about the album.
It was on your IG story and I was like, dope, thank you. So, I always reach out to people who always show me love. So, I'm never on that Hollywood thing where you just leave them on red.
You can't do that.
So, no.
You especially can't do that when you're growing and you're still a local musician. People
actually do that shit and I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I just saw it. It popped up. I think you sponsored it or something like that, and on Facebook maybe. And I saw it advertised or something popped up. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, I want to check this out because I've heard your name around a bunch, and I've seen you doing stuff throughout. It's been a couple years now, at least, right?
Yeah, just in the Valley, about 4 years. I've been writing music.
Yeah. So I had seen your name around, and then I was like, oh, perfect. This is my chance. Let's check it out. And I listened to it in my bathroom, which I know is my first listening through. I loved it, but I definitely didn't get the sonic quality that I'm sure you went out for. Because I just listened to it on an iHome in my bathroom, and I had the shower going in the background, and I was just kind of chilling in the steam. I think I was not feeling well, so I was just inhaling steam. And I listened to the whole fucking thing, just sitting there, at the vanity or whatever. Just listening to the whole fucking thing. I was like, this is so awesome. Good.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I was probably getting high, too, which is another reason it sounded so good.
Yo.
It's vibey, man.
Appreciate that.
So how has your music evolved? Now, because I don't know a whole lot of your music besides the Homebody Friends and what you released previously to that. Which
Memory Department.
Yeah. So... But you said you've been in the Valley for about 4 years or so. So that, I'm assuming, is not all of your released music.
No, I actually sit on a lot of music, and like a lot of my live shows, I'll just play out archive beats that I'm not 100% sold on, and I'll just play them out live just to see what the room feels like, and if people are feeling it, and I'll find opportunities in that in doing live shows. Okay, I can add this, or I like how, the crowd reacts when this part comes in, and I'll just really analyze and study and then just implement from there. And then a lot of my stuff is just all not necessarily recycle, but I'll start it, put it down, and then come back to it, and then, continue that process until I actually really like it. and then I'll put it out.
It's awesome that you analyze it like that. Like, do you really, really look at it and kind of pick it apart?
Yeah, like I don't spend like a whole lot of time like trying to like be nitpicky on it and like kind of pick it apart, because like I love the honesty with it. Like, I'm not classically trained or anything like that. I don't know how to read music or write sheet music or anything like that. So it's all just by ear, and like I just try to implement that as much as I can, or as closely as I can to it. Like, I don't even know if I'm articulating the sound, half the sound I even hear correctly, but I just try to make it work however I feel like it should work, I guess.
So
I don't know.
In the beginning, was it more just kind of abstract beats, or what was the kind of was there as much kind of jazz influence into it back then?
Yeah, I mean, all of my beats are jazz based, so I'll start with some sort of jazz element and just kind of branch off from there. Sometimes like I'll even like just use jazz as like a template almost, and just like take it off, like whether it's like a hi-hat, a ride, or jazzy drums.
Got it.
And then from there, just kind of the beat just makes itself.
I want to get into jazz so badly. It's one of the there's a few jazz records that I love and I put on a lot, but I realize that they're total fucking like plebe, pedestrian.
What? Which ones?
Because like when I say that, I mean I'm kind of like, I can tell that I feel like jazz elitists would be like, yeah, we've all heard that fucking right. Like Blue Train and like Kind of Blue, and like just the kind of really standard albums that you could find anywhere.
Right.
Like I haven't gone super deep. I know a lot of the names, but I haven't really spent a lot of time going into a lot of it. I've heard like Miles. I've heard a bunch of Miles stuff, but that's because he's like a top tier guy. Same with Coltrane.
Yeah, a lot of people sample from Miles and Coltrane, so you're gonna hear that all the time.
It's great though. I mean, I like when Miles got really into, like, I liked the Bitches Brew era a lot, like the weird kind of jazz fusion shit that he was doing. I liked that a lot, but his old school shit is awesome too. I want to get into it so badly, but for some reason I just like can't connect. Did you grow up with a jazz background? Like, how did you get into it?
Actually, this story is actually kind of funny. I guess I had like, I guess I kind of like always liked jazz, but I was never like familiar with it growing up. And then like one day I think I was just this is about 5 or 6 years ago, mind you, and I was like just like in my college dorm room just listening to Last FM, and I had the John Mayer radio station playing, and while I was studying, and then Diana Krall came on out of nowhere, and then I was like, okay, I really like Diana Krall. I don't know what she does, but it sounds really jazzy. Started listening to her, and then from there just kind of branched off into like so much jazz that I was just just waiting to discover it at that point. But yeah, it all, I guess, it stemmed from John Mayer. Shout out to John Mayer.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's crazy, man. I love the feeling of getting into a genre, or whether it's something that you've never heard of, or maybe something that you never understood or enjoyed before, and then once you kind of get it, and all of a sudden your entire world opens up. I love that feeling.
Oh yeah, definitely. About a year ago, I got really into indie rock. I started listening to like Mild High Club and Home Shake, and Yellow Days is another good one. Like, just a bunch of indie rock, even though I just named 3 bands. But
Yellow Days, Yellow Days is cool. People who tell me they like Yellow Days, I always tell them to listen to Twin Shadow. I don't know if you know him or not.
I don't think so, yeah.
He's a little bit more on he's very, very kind of 80s R&B influenced.
Okay.
It has a lot of, as far as the music goes, it's kind of on that trend that's going on right now, that like 80s synth revival thing that we're going through, which I fucking love. I love that we're getting into electrofunk and synth pop again. Like that's really coming back hard.
Yeah, I mean it's getting more prominent, I would say. Like you see a lot more people on like big name festivals like Lollapalooza and what's the other one in Washington, the Gorge.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sasquatch, I think it is.
Okay, got it.
But yeah, you'll see like a lot of those kind of artists like on big name bills like that. So it's getting widely accepted now.
Yeah, and from like fun, goofy stuff like Chromeo to who have the new album. It's so fucking good.
I haven't heard it yet.
It's just fun. It's just like a fun, like it's exactly what you think it would be. Okay. Just a fun like electro funk record. But yeah, that's super good, and like there's a bunch of really weird artists that are kind of really small that are coming out with music that sounds exactly like what you would have heard back then, which is
yeah.
But that's also kind of I feel like that would be a pain in the ass as an artist to kind of keep, like, once you put yourself in that corner, basing your sound around a genre that's not really around anymore. Like, where do you go?
Honestly, you just recreate the market at that point. And so if you're familiar with Leon Bridges at all, he pretty much just did the whole, every time I hear Leon Bridges, well, not every time, but I pretty much hear Sam Cooke, and he's just reviving that pretty much.
Yeah.
And, that recreates the market, and, he has no competition. So I think it's a blessing, and a curse, but mostly a blessing.
Damn, dude. So, I was on your I was on your Facebook feed before you came in here, just trying to kind of go through and pop through ideas and things like that. And I saw that you posted about XXX. And now, before we talk about this, I could be completely fucking saying this wrong, but is it XXX Tentacion?
It's probably something like that. I think it's like Tentaz. I don't know. I'm not gonna try to butcher that.
That's how Anthony Fantano says it, so I trust him. That's how
okay.
I'm gonna say
it. Let's just go with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's so crazy because as this kind of As I Lay Dying shit's been going on. I'm assuming you've seen stuff about that too, right? So all that kind of stuff is going on, and everyone was talking about how can you not listen to As I Lay Dying, but you're bumping XX, and they're saying all this shit, and then like 2 weeks later, he gets killed, and then suddenly everyone's like, "Oh, rest." Either they're like, "Oh, what a hero," or they're like, "Fucking let's celebrate his death." And I'm like, is there some middle ground?
I think I would stand in that middle ground because I can't stand behind what he did, but at the same time, it's like his life really told one heck of a story if you really look at it from like just an outside perspective, and you're not emotionally influenced one way or another. So that's the way I looked. I just took a step back. I'm like, I'm not really familiar with his music. I know a few, maybe one or two songs, but I am also familiar with what he was accused of and what he did, and I'm not gonna disregard any of that. But at the same time, I look at it from a neutral point, and I'm like, okay, like whether it's good or bad, you're talking about him. You know what I mean? So it's like his legacy is going to be there. Like I even said it myself. Like there will probably be a movie about this kid in the next coming years. So it's one heck of a story.
Yeah, man. I don't know anything about his life or anything about. I know about the accusations, and I know about all the charges, and and I listened to the new album, and I thought, going into it, I didn't expect to like it, but I ended up listening to the whole thing without ever like looking at the time or wondering when it's going to be over. I dug it. I thought it was a pretty cool record. I'm really into the sad boy shit. So give me some, like, I'm into it, man. Like, throw some like emo lyrics over trap beats. Let's do this. I'm in. Same with Juice WRLD, the same way. So like, yeah, man, I'm into it. And then like, but other than that, I don't really know anything about him.
I don't really know too much about him either, just from what I've seen on social media. I feel like I would have if I got the chance to like meet him or something like that, I would have spoke to him. I'm not gonna like just go into this conversation biased. Like I don't really know what he's done since then. I don't really know what he's working towards either. So I can't really give him an unfair chance, I would say.
Yeah, which really sucks is that people close to him, I guess, have been saying that he's been working on bettering himself. He's been trying to get better, and he's and learn from all of those things, and then he never got the chance to.
Right. Yeah. Did you watch like his last video that he posted?
I've never seen any of his.
Man,
yeah, no.
It was kind of eerie.
Yeah.
And like his Instagram, like the way he left the world was kind of eerie too. And like I kind of get the feeling that he knew something was coming, and people were just like closing in on him. Wow. I don't know. That could just be me.
I mean, maybe. So. That's the thing. There's a conspiracy theory now that like Drake hired somebody to kill him.
Yeah. Okay. I read that too.
So I work with kids. I work at a school, and one of my students, this like 13-year-old kid, was talking about him, and he's like, he's talking about, he was like butchering his name, and I kind of like tried to fix it, and he was like, I was like, yeah, they don't know who killed him. And like, yeah, they do. Drake killed him. I was like, okay, hold on. I think they were missing a lot of information. Right. It's crazy. So then I looked into it, and like, I don't know. It's
far fetched, but it makes sense a little bit.
Yeah. it's crazy, man. He just but what I told him was like, this dude has so many enemies and has so many people who want to kill him. Like,
oh yeah, like what I gathered from that conspiracy theory was that he told Pusha T about Drake's illegitimate son and his baby mama, and that
fucking Pusha T, man, he's
led him to make that diss track. Apparently, X didn't know he was gonna make a diss track, but I'm like, yo, if you have dirt on someone like Drake, you pretty much gonna do what you will with that. So, you know.
Man, that Pusha T thing is crazy too. I wasn't into the new Pusha T album. It wasn't for me. The production was cool. I know Kanye was doing the production. Right. The new Kanye album surprised me. I liked the new Kanye album. I've
been such a hermit. Yeah. For the past month, I feel like I've been trying to get this online store popping, and this has been consuming all of my time.
Are you using a service like Squarespace?
Shopify.
Oh, got it. Shopify.
Yeah. So just been really trying to get good at that. And I haven't really launched it yet, but it's gonna happen.
Cool.
I really think it'll take off. So.
Got some merch and shit in there.
Yeah,
some good stuff.
Yeah, some good stuff.
Hell yeah.
Can't say too much because I don't want to share too much of the
totally
production. But it'll be nice.
That's awesome, man. That's super cool. So, when I think about the kind of music you make, and when I listen to that kind of music, I always think to myself, man, I wish I could do this. This is so fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
But then I look at the setups and what people are doing, and I'm so not technically the second anyone is talking about recording software or recording anything and numbers get thrown into it, I'm gone. I'm just it's the Focusrite 1480. I'm gone.
Oh yeah, I got one of those in my bag actually.
Yeah,
the Focusrite interface.
Which one? I like. Now I'm going to be a hypocrite. The 18920 is the one that I like. It's the
I got the 21.
21.
Yeah.
The 18920 is the 8 track.
Okay. That's the more expensive one.
Yeah.
So I just got the 2-channel.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That's all I need though.
Yeah.
So.
Right. What are you doing? What are you plugging into it?
So I'll plug in. I have a MIDI keyboard from Akai. Then I'll plug in I'll just plug it directly into Ableton, and then if I'm doing a live performance with the APC40, then I'll connect that to my laptop, which is connected through Ableton, and then I'll just run Ableton out through the interface.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, that's cool. So, that's the thing. MIDI is another one of those things that just fucks me up. I can't.
MIDI's so fun once you actually figure that shit out, because it's I don't know. You're kind of working smarter and not harder, really.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, if you listen to any kind of EDM or poppy song, no way those chords are perfect like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Sure,
no way that shit's happened. No way nobody does that in human.
Yeah.
Being without any kind of mistake or flaw. That's why music production it's an art, because it's never that perfect. So when you get the MIDI, you can actually fine tune it and put the notes exactly where you want them, and then you can adjust the intensity of all of the notes as well, so that way you just make that track absolutely perfect and flawless. So yeah, MIDI is definitely the way to go if you figure it out.
Yeah, man. Because I have stuff like that on the programs that I use,
mm-hmm.
but the second I open it, I just completely, my brain just falls out my face.
That's how it was for me when I first started. Ableton was Japanese,
dude. Yeah, I've tried to fuck with Ableton. I was like, nope.
Yeah, it's a little intimidating at first, but honestly, how I got used to it was just opening it up every day. And if I didn't do anything with it, I just looked at it, just got got a hang for the look and feel of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually, I just started putting things together, and, I just started finding out more things. And I never really watched YouTube. I probably watched YouTube for setup purposes, but, I had to become a musician and an artist to really figure out my sound and my way. And that took some time. So, it's all just self-taught. I mean, anybody can learn it if you just mess around. It's like riding a bike, I would say. Yeah. You just only get better at it.
Got it. So what role would you say vocals play in your music?
Vocals are icing on the cake. I'm a beat maker first and producer second. So, and that's just by choice and preference, really. So, I'm perfectly fine with an instrumental. And if there's room for vocals, which there always is, then I'll seek those out.
Yeah.
But like I've never really written lyrics or, sang a song or anything like that. But, if it's there, it's there. Like when I collaborate with vocalists, I'm like, just do what you do. I make the beat, I'll produce it, but I don't know how to write lyrics or anything like that. So the vocalists, they just improvise it.
Got it.
So
what first really got you into beat making then?
Well, that's like, it's not like a complicated story, but it's like I was a DJ first. Well, I was a promoter first.
Okay.
And then I became a DJ. I didn't really like DJing all that much. So then I became a producer. Tried to, write house and dubstep and drum and bass. Wasn't really my thing. And I stopped writing music altogether and just listened to music, figured out what I liked. Came across jazz and then just kind of just went that way. Just got into like the experimental stuff. And what really got me into like experimental and like, the kind of like the vibey shit that you hear is like Flying Lotus, Teebs, Token Monster, like Mind Design. I mean, the list goes on for like as far as like inspirations goes, but definitely like Flying Lotus really like showed me like, yo, you can do what you want and still be successful at this. And so I was like, all right, I just took that, weirdness and, originality and just took off with it, really.
Fuck, dude, the Flying, I'm trying to remember the Flying, I've only heard one Flying Lotus record, but it's like probably the most popular one, I'm assuming, because I wasn't super into that kind of stuff, but it's just the one with like the big explosion on the front.
Oh, You're Dead?
Is that what it's called? Yeah. I heard that and it like completely melted my brain. I had no idea what was going on.
You are in for it. Like, if you thought like, that was crazy, like you're in for a treat if you like hear most of his, his discography. So
is that a really old album?
No, You're Dead's probably he's more of his recent albums. I would say I think he had Kendrick on that record.
Did he?
With Never Catch Me. It could. I'm pretty sure it's on that record, but I could be wrong.
No, you're probably right.
But yeah, that's his most recent one. And then he put out the movie.
Oh no, it's not You're Dead. No, it's not You're Dead. Hold on.
Which one is it?
I'm looking right now. I'm looking at his discography because I was looking at the cover and I was like, okay, that wasn't it.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking that it was a little bit older. I've heard. Here we go. Cosmic Grandma.
Oh yes.
That's
that one is lit.
Yeah.
Yes.
I knew that had a weird name.
That one is super lit.
Yeah, that's the first and only album of his I heard, and I was like, blah.
Right. Yeah, him and Thundercat make some hits on that one.
I knew there was somebody else. Thundercat is on that too. And Tom. Oh yeah, it's got Tom York is on here too.
Oh yeah, he. I watched an interview about what it was like working with Tom York, and it was very brief. But he basically like the first thing he said, he was like, he's kind of a funny guy, and he's not like all like serious and stuff like that like he portrays. But that process and him being able to be on that record was incredible. So
that's so cool.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I was like, I heard it a long time ago. That was super wild. It was at the library. It was at like the Queen Creek Library. And I was like, this looks interesting.
Flying Lotus at the Queen Creek Library.
And I fucking put it in my car, and it was wild, man. But I couldn't stop listening to it. I kept like feeling like there's something here. Like, I know that this is good. I know that a lot of the people whose tastes I look up to revere this. Like, but it was just so hard for me to wrap my brain around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's even still today, I'm sure if I listened to it, it would be hard to wrap my brain around. But I guess that's the point, right?
I don't know if there's a point. I think it's just, he just made some shit that he likes, and, he just rocks with it, really. And, he's not one to really, try to grasp the listener. I think he knows his listeners aren't stupid or anything like that. They know that, he knows that they want to hear new music and, new material. So, he kind of caters to that in that respect. But I think he just does what he wants, really, and just kind of just makes it happen. And sounds people like just, he already has that following. So, he just kind of does what he wants at this point.
Sounds like it. Dude, I would love to ever get to a point where I can just do whatever I want with music.
Right.
That was my one of the people I always look to as a great example of that is Les Claypool from Primus. He has like Primus made a bunch of records, they're all major record label, huge fucking legendary band. and then they're not doing anything anymore. And for the last like decade, he's in like, if you look up Les Claypool on Spotify, there's like 7 different listings. Les Claypool this, Les Claypool, and you listen to all of them, and they're just weird. They're just him fucking around and just having fun. Like there's an entire album where they do this weird country thing, and they remake other, like, so there's like cover of Staying Alive on there, but like in this weird like country thing. And, like it's just like, man, like if I would love to like get to a point in my life where I'm like late 40s, 50s, just like I'm gonna call up my boy and we're gonna do some weird shit, and then put it out and then never do it again.
I mean, you can still do that now, really.
You could,
It's you gotta wait till you're 40, but I mean you could, but you don't have to really. I mean that's how like half the shit that I put together is just hey, are you doing anything else? No. All right, let's make some music. So it's really it.
Dude, I saw that you popped in on the Super Show with Hot Rock Super Joint.
Oh, yeah. That was a lot of fun.
Dude, I'm so fucking jealous. He's been on my show, and I fucking hit him up to be on his show, and it never happened.
You just gotta, like, be persistent with him.
Yeah, he's high as fuck.
Yeah, all the time, too. Like...
we got high in the studio together when he was here when we were recording the podcast.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would join. I just, I'm a little dry right now. So... But yeah, like being on his show was like really, really cool because like he has like this, it's like I don't want to say, well, of course it's like a theme, but his questions were like oddly specific. Okay. Like I had to like think outside of the box. Okay. And like even though they were like really like simple questions, I'm like, oh, okay. Like they made you like, they were thought provoking questions, and like it was run like a almost like not a game show, but like a little television series. Like there was like little commercial breaks, and there was like little, jingles here and there. And I'm like, wow, this is like really legit. Like I like this a lot.
That's funny, man.
He just took care of it. Like had pizza and everything too. Hospitality was on a 10. So I was like, this guy, I can't wait to come back and see that guy.
He's great, man. I met him. We played a show together. I used to be in a band called Phantom Party, and we played a show together for that for the Yab Yum Award show. Like,
this one?
Yeah, the one that's on the wall. And he hosted it, and I was just like, I knew who he was, but I'd never seen him live or realized how tall he was. And he was so cool. We were like talking outside of Trunk Space, and he was like. My memory of him is he asked me how old I was. I think I was like 22 at the time. I was like, yeah, I'm 22. And he rubbed my belly. And like, oh, you're a baby still. And I was like, whoo.
Man.
I was like, dude, like, yes. And he's so cool, man. He came over to our, so he came over to do my podcast. It was like the 7th episode I ever did. I was brand new. None of this shit was here. It was just like 2 mic stands, and we were sitting in the middle of this room. Across from like a school desk bullshit, and he comes in full. It's nighttime.
Oh yeah,
mind you. He comes in full get up, entire outfit. There's no like TV. There's no video portion to the show, so he's completely in his garb. And not only is he wearing sunglasses, but he's wearing makeup under his sunglasses that you can't fucking see because he's wearing sunglasses.
It's so extra. I appreciate that so much about him.
Yeah, he's
like,
great, man.
I think the first time I had ever like saw him, he actually was in Super Joint, and I never told him about that.
Yeah.
But like I was somewhere. I'm not gonna say where. I was somewhere, and I saw him, and I was like, okay, like I'm putting the pieces together. Like, I know who this is, but I didn't say anything to him, or I kind of want to let him keep that. Definitely. You know what I mean? But now if he listens to this podcast, he's like, cat's out the bag. But
dude, I got his candle. I have the Hot Rock. He made. Yeah, grab that shit. It's a Hot Rock Super Joint. It doesn't smell like anything.
I wish it did. Like just some
like weed, right?
Some flowers, yeah.
He said he was going to like smoke weed. Oh no, okay. What he said was he wanted them to smell like weed, but it was too expensive. Oh, okay. So when he got the batch, he just smoked weed around them, or he like blew them onto the candles or some shit. Oh, and then, like on the back, like because they're supposed to be. Obviously, people can't see what we're talking about. He has he has those. What are they called? Like the prayer candles or whatever. Like I guess that's what you would call. Like,
they're like really tall, thin candles. Yeah.
Yeah. So He has one, and on the back there's like this hilarious message that's like usually they're like very inspirational, and there's like the Guadalupe on the front. It's just like saying ridiculous shit about get that weed home. He's so fucking funny, man. Like the first thing I ever saw from him was his guided meditation.
Oh
shit.
yeah. I actually saw him do that. I don't know if it was like because he like put like some sort of song with it, but like he had like this whole place in like a trance of some sort.
Yeah.
And I was like, only this guy can get away with some shit like this. So I just went along with it. Like, all right, do you?
That's
like,
awesome, man.
Go ahead, yeah.
So, do you get around and play shows very often?
Not
what
really.
Is a show like for you?
For me, it's like it's really comfortable. I would say I never really dress out. Like like I'm on a red carpet or something like that. Like I don't really like think about fashion as much as I need to. But it's usually really, really comfortable for me. And it's like the sets are like never really planned either. Like I kind of just like know how I'm gonna start it, but like I don't know where it's gonna go once I start playing. And
so are you just like programming shit on the spot? Like are you just like pick like because I don't know how this works. Like how that style of music works on stage.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, it's like for me, if it's just like a solo set, then like I'll like put together like some tracks and some samples, and I'll just kind of just improvise live on that. But if it's like a band set, like if I'm playing with the like I have a band that I play with, the Gabriel Elijah Movement.
Okay.
We'll just do improvise set. Like they know all of my songs, so like real like rehearse or anything like that. They just kind of just go with the flow, and we just make it happen.
So what is the band like musically? What kind of style is that?
I would say jazz.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
When I first discovered them, I discovered them at the Lost Leaf, and they were playing this really, really dope jazz set. And I was like, I got to play a show with them like at some point. So I met them, and then like I was trying to get a show with them for like a year. And then finally they said yes, and we just been kind of collaborating ever since then. And
what do you play in that band?
Oh well, I just kind of do like the electronic beats, and
cool.
they kind of play over top of it or
That's
play
awesome.
with it. Yeah.
What's it called?
The Gabriel Elijah Movement.
Got it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Fuck yeah, dude. That's super cool. I didn't even know about that shit.
They're really dope. We're playing on the next Friday actually. Excuse me.
You're good.
Ooh. It's the beer.
No, you're good.
But yeah, at Crescent we're opening for Black Milk.
Oh,
and
shit.
Turn Band, yeah.
When is that?
It's June 29th.
Damn, the episode's
next Friday.
The episode's not going to be out by then.
Oh, it's all right.
Sorry.
I mean, they'll see it.
Know.
Okay, yeah, I remember that show.
Is there any way where people can find it?
Yeah, they can search for it just on my page. I just sponsored a post today about
cool.
it. But just like on Crescent's website, on my website, on Black Milk's website. But basically for tickets are only like $15. So
dude, for Crescent that's not bad.
Yeah, and they can just go just directly to the Crescent website and just get the tickets from there, or just visit wherever really. Yeah.
Sweet, dude. That's awesome. So, like, I guess when it comes to playing solo shows and being up there, what were your kind of the first time you ever did that like?
It was a little awkward.
Yeah?
Yeah, there was like maybe...
I feel like it would be, right? Everyone's just kind of looking at you.
Yeah. I don't remember a whole lot about like the room because like I didn't really pay attention to the room the first time I did it. Like I was just trying to like not fuck up, and I wasn't really having fun. And it wasn't until like I mean, I've had fun sets sober, but like it wasn't until like I started like smoking weed and playing shows that I really had fun with it. And now it's just I'm always like that before I play a show. It's like it's almost like a ritual, not a ritual, but like a it's like a daily thing that I do before I play a set.
Yeah, dude, spark up all those neurons, get all those synapses firing, and really just kind of follow the movement like that. Yeah, makes sense to me.
I feel it a lot more, and it sounds comparable.
Yeah.
So, I know it's not like doing anything bad to my performances. If anything, I can feel really good and, play a really good set too. So
so there was a period where I was smoking weed on the podcast, or I would like get really high before the podcast.
Yeah.
And I have a few episodes like that. And luckily, okay, this is kind of a weird thing. So I recently lost like 4 or 5 episodes that I recorded. Gone, like, forever. I was being stupid, and like my computer was running slow, so I went to delete files, and my shit wasn't backed up, and I accidentally deleted all of the raw project files.
Heartbreaking.
For like really good podcast. Like I've already talked about it on the podcast before, but I had like Psycho Steve was over here, and we did one together. I lost a Toso one. Jalapaz Nelson, the fucking producer of the first four AJJ records.
Oh my goodness.
Like luckily all these people are coming back onto the show, and they're wonderful. But still, like I lost all of them. But it's almost kind of a blessing in disguise, because a few of those podcasts I was experimenting with, like, okay, because I usually drink on the show because it's like a really good social lubricator. Right. And I was like, I'm going to get really high before the show and start doing a few shows high. And like, it doesn't work for me as well as like other things do, because the episode, I'll be like really into it. Like Jalapaz was like telling me this story about how he only lives in Arizona because he was traveling with a ferret, and they had ferret laws in California where they couldn't bring them into California. So he just stayed in Arizona because he couldn't cross the border. With
that's
ferret.
Commitment right there. Like that's loyalty.
Yeah, he just kind of took root ever since. Like, fuck it, I can't bring my ferret. I'm staying here. And he's telling the story, and I'm like following him, and I'm seeing everything. And then I look down at the counter, and it's been like fucking 8 minutes. And I was like, no, what the fuck? So after that, I stopped. I was like, okay, I might take a couple hits, get kind of relaxed, but I'm not gonna get fucked up before a show anymore, because I just lose complete track of time, and I'm not good at like pulling up things to talk about.
I did that. Well, let's see. I got like extraordinarily high one time. I was probably like
a heroic dose.
Like too. Yeah, it was probably too much in hindsight, but you know what? We did it anyways. But like, it was just it was actually like an actual like live radio interview.
Oh shit! On what?
It was on it was at ASU. It was for like a few students.
Oh, okay.
And
doesn't fucking matter. I'm just kidding.
I have the names written down somewhere,
fine,
but
whatever.
I think Folkin' Around. That's what it's called.
Never heard
yeah.
of it. Okay.
I don't know if they're around anymore because it was in college, but went there, and I don't think they knew I was high, but I was trying to keep it together the whole time, and it was just so like, it wasn't nerve-wracking because like, had I been like, not high, I probably would have been like, stumbling over words, and just I couldn't relax. And like, I don't have like a radio voice or anything like that, so people will be able, people can tell when I'm like talking like this, and really nervous. So I didn't want that, so I was like, what, fuck it, I'm gonna just get really high and wing it, and it worked. So I can't really recall the entire conversation, but I got through it. It wasn't bad. Yeah.
Dude, my old band, we fucked up some interviews over time, man. We've had like. We went in and did Rise Radio once in Phoenix Center for the Arts, and for Radio Phoenix, and we told this story on the. It was poor. Okay, so poor DJ Hockey Chuck is the guy. Charles Pike, he's great. But it was just his first night solo as the host, like for the radio show. Okay. Usually, I don't remember the other guy's name, but usually has someone sitting in, and he's never flown solo. That was his first time. So on his first ever night doing it by himself, our drummer starts telling a story about how he tricked our singer into drinking his piss, like on the radio. But like we didn't curse, so we thought it was gonna be okay. And like I wouldn't have brought that story up,
right?
But our drummer did, and he Jesus, because I think they said something. It was his fucking fault. He asked, he's like, so do you guys ever like play pranks on each other? And I looked at Austin, and I was like, no, do not fucking tell the story. And yeah, like the story basically is like, this was the second day I ever met him too. We had just formed the band together, and. He was already friends with our singer from a long time. They used to be in a band called The Semester Review back in the day. And they were, so they're good friends, but I didn't really know them that well. And Josh the singer, Josh comes in, wants something to drink, and Austin's like, here's a Polar Pop. Like, here's something to drink, whatever.
Right,
and he drinks it, immediately realizes something is awry. Throws up in the bathroom, but like that's like the really short version, but Austin told like the long version where he's like, and I watched it go up the straw and into his mouth. No. and like the host is like sweating, and the manager, like, because I guess that when you record, you can kind of hear it through all the rooms or whatever.
Yeah.
And the guy who usually sits in with Charles like walks in, like looks at us and looks at him, and then like walks back out, and we're like, oh my fucking. And then after that. So I went back to do a solo Getting Stoked. I went to co-host one of them as Getting Stoked, and they made me pre-record my episode because of what happened.
They did not trust your ass at all.
It's like, I'm sorry, man. But God, that was so fucking funny. That's on the internet. That's still like, you can find that episode. If you look up like Phantom Party Rise Radio, you could probably find. It's at the very end. It's like right before the end. Like, we tell that story, and we're all like in hysterics, not even able to breathe. Man. And oh God, it was just like, it's one of those things where when you start telling a funny story, and you're getting that, like, the response that you want from the audience, or from whether that's one person or a group of people, you just like everything in your body, you have like everything positive in your brain is firing, and you're getting really excited, and you're getting all these endorphins, and you're just like, let's just keep this feeling going. Right. And I think that's probably what happened, because the guest was like laughing, or he was like putting his hand over his mouth, but I don't think he really knew how far it was gonna go. Oh God! So Austin just like kept going.
All right, well, I see you liking it now. Let me just keep on going.
It's fun, man. Like, I mean, I don't know. It wasn't that bad. Like, we didn't curse, so it's like. Yeah, because we thought we'd be able to get away with it, but we got in trouble. We didn't get in trouble. He got in trouble. It was first night.
Yeah. Easy to know, but
oh well, it's not like it's like 93.3. Right. Kind of wish it was.
I mean, shout out 93.3.
Fuck yeah, dude! Name drop, shout out. Mo is gonna be on this show.
Oh, dope.
So y'all, I know most of the people who listen to the show are in a local band, or they're whatever, so they're listening to 93.3, and they definitely know the Mo Show. So it's scheduled, man. It's gonna be like, we've got a lot ahead of it, but it's gonna happen. So you guys will hear an episode with Mo. I'm very excited about that, because she seems like a very animated personality.
Speaking of 93.3, how was the interview with Fairy Bones?
The live one?
Yeah, the live one.
Yeah, the one that you RSVP to didn't go to? I'm just kidding.
That same one.
With you. I'm just fucking kidding. No, dude, it was fucking awesome, man. It was super fun. 7:00 rolled around, and no one was there. It was completely empty. Yeah. Well, there was one guy. Sean Thompson was the only guy there. He was hanging out. The guy who created the Arizona Musicians Exchange, the Facebook group.
Oh yeah.
So anyway,
I left that.
Yeah. He was there, and I was sweating bullets, man, because we had all these chairs out, and everything was empty. And Chelsea was like, "What the fuck's?" Like, she wasn't like, "What the fuck's going on?" But I saw it in her eyes. Like, she's great, and I love her. And we had a really, really good time on the show. But when she first came in and everything was empty, I could totally see it in her face. So I was like, I was just crushing beers. Like, I was just like drinking and drinking and drinking. Like, eventually I'll be okay with it, to just performing for Sean. Like, this will be okay. We pushed it back to 7:30 and got just about all the chairs filled.
Dope.
So we ended up doing really well, and everyone was super cool, and we had a really good turnout. Nice. So it ended up turning out okay. I blame Brendan Kellum, who was a past guest on this show, the singer of American Standards, because he was playing a dope ass show at 51 West the same night. I totally would have chosen over my show, because the lineup was ridiculous. So I still give him shit about that. Like, and I'll invite you to this, but I have like a Facebook group for anyone who's been on the show. Because people because I'll see people online shout, I need bands for this bill, and instead of just like tagging everyone who's been on the show, I just take that link and put it in my group, and I'm like, you
just
guys
let us
fuck
all.
with it. Yeah,
it's dope.
So, and I'll invite you to that, and but in there on the bio, it's like, I love all of you guys except Brandon Kellum. And he's like, oh, what the fuck?
Oh man.
But yeah, man,
it's dope.
It was fun, dude. I like doing it live. I'm gonna do a live episode. Like, I want to say like once every couple months.
All right.
Something like that. I don't want to oversaturate it.
Right.
It every week, but I want to get like guests who I feel like are too cool to come to my apartment, I guess. You know what I mean? Like,
you want to get those people
too
out?
Cool, but like, I feel like if I'm gonna get some like really big dude or girl or whoever from Phoenix onto the podcast, like way bigger than Chelsea, way bigger than anyone who I've really had on this show, like, I'm going to be at this apartment for a while. And chances are I'm going to end up interviewing some of those people before I leave this apartment, God willing. So it's like, I should just do those live. Like, why not? But at the same time, that could go so fucking wrong.
Yeah,
no one shows up.
I personally like the intimacy of interviews and everything like that, because then it's just a genuine just one-on-one conversation.
I agree.
You're not really catering to a room full of people and the host.
Yeah.
So it's like you get someone that's a big enough name that'll do that. They're not going to want to do it for free.
Oh yeah,
for sure. So then that's something else you got to take into consideration, and I just do it here.
You changed my mind. You changed my mind. Yeah, I mean, there's because like what I do is I reach out to everyone who I'm interested in talking to, even though I know that a huge majority of them are just not ever going to be opened or even like responded to. Or
you got to shoot your shot.
Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah.
I feel you. You got to shoot your shot. I mean, that's how I, got with my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I shot my shot, and like I was like, I'm not gonna like slide in the DMs or comment on pictures.
That's why you're here.
But different circumstance. But for her, I just like what's the email address? Let me take it back to the 90s, and I just emailed her, and it totally worked.
That's awesome, man.
Email,
really?
Yeah, email,
dude. That's class. Do you have a little like signature at the bottom?
Yeah, I had a little like it's not anything like corporate or anything. It's just like my name and email and phone number. But
dude, that adds a lot, man.
But yeah, it was because like I was literally checking my email every day and looking forward to getting an email, and it was so crazy, and like it worked. So but yeah, like if you're single still, email them. You know what I mean?
Don't swipe right, just email.
Right, just email them. Exactly. Put that on the t-shirt.
Send her a fax.
Yes, if she wants it rough, you got to send her the draft.
Oh man, you have to sample that later on.
I probably will. Yeah.
It's crazy, dude. Like I met my girlfriend on OkCupid. We've been together for fucking 3 years, and we lived together. And, it worked out. It's like we met on OkCupid, which already is dicey, and then we moved in together after knowing each other for 3 months, which again, dicey as fuck. Like I would never recommend that to anybody.
Yeah, y'all got lucky.
Yeah, we got fucking lucky because it still works and we're still having a great time and everything's cool. We got really lucky. But I always tell people because I'll be talking to people about relationships and stuff, and I'm always like, don't fucking do what I did, because it's so much more likely that it wouldn't work.
Right, exactly. It's
like if you're stealing my car and shit, like who fucking knows?
Yeah, that's just not worth it.
Yeah,
don't do it that soon.
But I was like, I wanted to move out. I was like 20. I was 21. I wanted to move out, and she had she was only like 19, but she had her shit together.
Yeah,
even more than I did, and I was like, all right, well, let's do it. Let's fucking, who gives a shit? Let's go for it. And I obviously had a lot of faith in her.
Right,
I liked her a lot, so I was like, all right, let's do it. And luckily it worked, but it's scary, man. Like I could just be I mean, I don't know. I still feel like I might wake up one day with like a knife to my throat. Like who knows?
Well, I mean, that's the thrill of it.
It keeps it live.
That's the beauty of it right there. Shit, if your girl don't scare the shit out of you, then you might be in the wrong relationship.
Dude, I fucking feel that so hard.
Yeah.
Yes, I totally feel that. I like girls who intimidate the fuck out of me.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like you said, like she had her shit together. Like my, girl Laura is her name. She has her shit way more together than I do. Yeah. Like she takes care of my old ass all the time. So it definitely works. You just gotta find that happy medium and take care of each other.
Yeah,
and really trust each other. So
I feel like, and I know this is a really old cliche, but I feel like women do just develop quicker. They're smarter, faster than we are.
Yeah.
As a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know.
No comment.
But generally, like I've heard more stories about the woman who has her shit together and then kicks the guy into gear than it being the other way around.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I mean, sure, she can whip him into gear and then like wrap him around her finger, but like that was fucking smart too on her part. So it's like,
yeah, I mean, as a man, you gotta understand and realize that part two.
Yeah,
you got to actually step up and be the man in the relationship. You can't just get comfortable either. So
now I was talking about this the other day with somebody. I feel like marriage is one of those things that is really fucking like. I feel like it has legitimate reasons, especially in the in the 21st century, to scare the shit out of guys.
Yeah.
Like, for sure, because I know so many people who have been like, or know people who like just completely been fucked over in the end of it, and like it doesn't work. Like, why I understand the argument of why do you have to marry somebody? Why do I have to get the state involved in order to prove that I love somebody?
Yeah.
Totally understand. I'm just like way over the top dramatically romantic, so I'm just like, everything that I can possibly do to show you I love you, I'm gonna do, and I know that that could easily be my demise. But I don't know, man. That shit's really fucking scary. Like, it's like I don't know how much different it would be than like, because the relationship wouldn't be different.
Right. I don't think it would be different much at all,
but
just legally.
But something happens, and I don't know. I mean, she might like flip a switch one day. And then, like, just
that's
take
the
me
beauty
for
of
everything I got.
That's the beauty of it.
I don't got much, so she has
it's
more
like,
than me.
You know what? I'm going to take a chance, you know. So.
Dude, she fucks with me, though. Like, we'll be, like, arguing about something little. And, like, something little enough to where you can make a joke and it's still cool. Like, that kind of, like, tier 1 level kind of debating. You know? You're not arguing. And she'll be like, when we break up, I get the record player. And I'm like, she does that shit to me all the time. And at first I was a real bitch about it. I was like, don't fucking do that.
Right.
Do it.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, now it's like a joke. But
Right. Yeah. You don't take any of that. Like, if you take that like too seriously, then it just gets to your head and you start thinking about it all the time. You know what I mean? But it's like, you know, it's the record player. You know?
It does make me think though. If we are like having a maybe like a tier 2 or tier 3 debate, they're in the back of my mind. I'm like, you're not taking the fucking record player.
Oh no, that's right. But yeah, I mean, I've also like, you know, learned a whole lot from her, and you know, discovering new music as well.
Yeah, what is she into?
She introduced me to like a lot of like lo-fi hip hop, and you know, a lot of that, like, there's not just like one lo-fi artist that she fucks with and that I even like, but it's like a plethora of, you know, beats and artists that are just really talented in this genre. And then, like, you know, she introduced me to No Name. No Name's really dope. Man, there's a few more names, but yeah, you know, we both just kind of, you know, bounce music off of each other. Like, I gave her some jazz records, some Lee Morgan, some Astrid Gilberto, some Bossa Nova, Stan Getz, and she kind of, you know, gave me, you know, her. I'm still going through it and, you know, going through her collection and all that good stuff. But, you know, it's just really, really cool to, like, you know, learn about someone and, like, discover more music, really. Yeah. And, you know, even though, like, I already do music, it's like, I'm never going to be like, you know, I only listen to this, or like, I'm never going to put myself in the box. So discovering new music on top of like a good committed relationship was like, it was so nice. It was so perfect.
I know.
Yeah.
I love that. That's what I'm really. That's one of the things I'm really lucky about. Is she's just like so into music, like I am. Like, she's real obsessive about it, and I just need that. I need to be with some. I can't, like, I could never be with somebody who's not like a freak, like a fanatic. That's how I am with everything. I'm a fanatic. Like, I'm not a casual fan of anything.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like, I'm just like really into shit, and like I get really addicted to stuff. Like, I get really like. I'll like when we were talking earlier about how doors will open for you as far as discovering new stuff, and it's like, oh, this is amazing. I got really, really into like old tear in your beer country music. Like, I always swore off country because I was from a hick-ass town in Ohio, and that shit was fucked up. I hated it so much, and I was like, oh, I like Marilyn Manson. Fuck you, Billy Bob. Like, this sucks. And like, I always hated country music.
Yeah.
And then I think I was kind of starting to toy with country music because I like folk music. So if you like folk music, you can kind of get a feel for. It's kind of a good gateway into some country music. So one night I was drinking Jameson by myself, and I listened to like some Hank Williams Sr. or like George Jones or some kind of old, sad, fucking like drink myself to death 60s, 70s country music, and like with a bottle of Jameson in my hand, and I was like, oh fuck, I totally get it. Like my whole everything just exploded, and I just went on this crazy spiral of country after that, where I was just like listening to all this like 70s, like sad fucking dark country music.
I feel you.
Like tell a goth kid like, yo, you want to hear some dark shit? Listen to fucking some old Hank Williams. It's true, man. I might not want to put, might not want to make you put like black eyeliner on, but it'll make you want to open a fucking couple of rings, dude. Shit, like it's rough. Some of that stuff is fucking.
Yeah, it's just heavy.
And some people built their entire careers off of it. Like George Jones is one of those guys. Every song on almost every record is just sad. Yeah, it's just fucking miserable.
That's a talent right there. It's like, how sad can I be today? You know, like, I'm going to write a song. I need to, like, get in the mood. Like, because what if you're, like, in a good mood and you got to write a song?
I know, right?
You know, how conflicted can you be?
Like, yeah, like, oh, man, I'm really, really happy to be playing, like, Madison Square Garden. This is fantastic. And then you get up there and sing a song about how fucking miserable you are. And then, yeah, that's weird, man. And then it feels disingenuous. And you got to, like, pull out a cover of This Land Is Your Land or something, make people happy.
Or, like, have you heard those songs where it's like really depressing, but like the music's upbeat?
I love it. That's what Phantom Party. That's what my whole band was. We all of our songs were super poppy, but our lyrics were really sad. Yeah,
like Phoenix had a song like that. You might know it. If I Ever Get Better, or If I Ever Feel Better, or something like that.
I know the band name, but I don't know them.
But yeah, they made this song. It's actually rather popular. But If I Ever Feel Better, I don't know the lyrics, but I read them and I was like, oh shit, like, you know.
That's how fucking Hey Ya is.
Yeah.
Outcast song.
Oh yeah.
Like,
if you like look like, man, there's a whole lot of like songs like that. But yeah, Hey Ya is definitely one of them. Yeah, it's just deep.
I saw someone on Facebook there was a video of someone playing that song like slow on acoustic guitar. And that was the first time I ever really listened. And I think that was the point, you know?
Yeah.
And I listened to the lyrics and I was like, oh, shit, this sounds like divorce. Like, this is fucked up. Damn, this is crazy. I love that. Tom Waits is one of my favorite musicians, and he has one of my favorite quotes of his is, I like beautiful melodies telling me terrible things.
Okay.
And, like, that's totally where I am. Like, I love some pop.
I fuck with that, actually. Yeah. I fuck with that heavily.
Yeah, man.
That might be on something.
Yeah. Dude, Tom Waits is great. I love him.
But I like Earl Sweatshirt.
Earl's
like
great.
real, you know, it's like real depressing and you know, deep and, you know, thought-provoking, but, you know, I really resonate with Earl, like, a whole lot, actually.
Didn't he, like, get put in some camp or some weird shit like that after he put out his first album?
I don't know if he was in boarding school for quite a while.
Yeah,
that's
he was
what
younger.
It was.
Oh, he was younger.
But yeah.
I thought his mom, like, punished him for releasing an album or something like that and then put him in some kind of, like, Christian camp or some weird shit. I could be totally wrong.
Yeah, not that I know of. I know he went to boarding school before Odd Future blew up, but I don't think he was, you know, punished or anything like that. I know he you know, had to cancel his tour recently because, you know, he cited depression and anxiety, and we can't really ignore that. But, you know, I think it stemmed from his father passing away earlier this year.
Yeah.
And, you know, it just sucks that, you know, we all go through it no matter, you know, how much you got in life. You know, everybody's going through something, but, you know, his music I really resonate with because, like, I listened to it during those dark times, and, you know, those times I was depressed and, you know, sad and, you know, anxious about life, and, you know, it just got me through some tough times, and, you know, thank goodness for it, you know, so.
Yeah, okay, so hold on, I pulled it up right here. So Earl and I are the same age, so 2009 this happened, so he would have been like 15, 16ish. That's around where I was. Right. And so this was during the Earl mixtape release, and he said, so it says, Sweatshirt's mother would not grant permission to release any of Sweatshirt's music, although after his return, Earl later expressed in an interview that his mother sent him to Samoa not because of his music or lyrical content, but because of him getting into trouble repeatedly with friends. So he went to a therapeutic retreat school for at-risk boys.
Oh, damn.
In Samoa.
Wow.
So, like, that's fucking, there's an album right there. I like, my guy, like, I think my number one go-to rapper over the last 3 or 4 years has been Danny Brown. Danny Brown is my shit.
Yeah, like he's been out here like quite a few times. I
haven't seen him, but like that last like Atrocity exhibition was one of the fuckedest things I've ever heard. It was so good, And I just like him, and I like his style. I like how he managed to be extremely disgusting and whatever, but he can also be like so dark and bitterly real that it fucking hurts. Like,
oh yeah, like I think he's it could be Danny Brown, it could be somebody else, but he was supposed to sign to like a really big label, and they didn't want him because of how he looked. So like he didn't pull his pants up, he didn't have all his teeth was there, and his hair is always crazy and shit like that. But I'm like, yo, that's a really dope artist right here. Like, who cares what they look like? Is it about the image, or is it is a product?
That's the thing.
Maybe that's why I'm not like.
No, that's the thing. No, I'm not. I'm not saying that. I'm saying fuck those guys for not doing that. But like that's what they're thinking. Like before you buy a product, it's gotta
look good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It has to look. It has to look the way that you want to look.
I get it, but I was like, who cares?
I know.
What if we all look the same?
I know, man.
Talent will. But at the same time, maybe that's not why I'm not in that position to make those kind of decisions. So.
Yeah, maybe it seems like. It happens a few ways, right? Like there'll be some people who just blow up like crazy overnight, and all of a sudden all that's just taken care of for them. Like they didn't need to fit a label.
Right.
The label found them, said, "Hey, I want you," and they're like, "Yeah, let's do it," and then boom, like they're up there.
Like, it's kind of like how Lady Gaga blew up.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was just weird as hell.
Yeah.
And I forget. God, what's
know
his name?
Is it?
It'll come to me. Danny Iovine.
Yeah, Jimmy Iovine.
Jimmy Iovine.
Yeah,
yes.
Jimmy Iovine,
Danny Brown.
Yeah.
Jimmy Iovine found her, and he was like, I don't know. She just, weirded me out so much that I signed her. So.
Yeah, man. I love Macklemore's song about Jimmy Iovine. He has a whole song about.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he has a whole song documenting him going into his office, the conversation that they had, and then him leaving.
Oh, damn.
Which is basically like him coming in, Jimmy throwing him a fucking 360 deal.
Yeah.
And Macklemore being like, so it's a loan. So this is bullshit. I only get like between Ryan and I get 7% to split. Like fuck that.
Yeah.
And so that's like he has like this whole song about him meeting him, and he's like even impersonates him and stuff. It's crazy. It's weird. It's just one of those songs like everyone's talking about like it's on his first record. So everyone talks about the heist. They talk about thrift shop and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, no, man, like those songs are okay, but there's like some really interesting songs on that record. If you go like real deep into it. I'm not the biggest Macklemore fan, but that was not bad. Ryan Lewis can produce his ass off.
Right.
Like this thing sounded great.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really listened to a lot of Macklemore.
Yeah.
I tend to like shy away from things that are very popular and that people
Hipster.
that everybody
Hipster.
likes.
Just kidding.
I'm
the same way, dude.
It's like I live under a rock, but it's my rock.
Yeah,
so
I like my rock.
I do like my rock, and if your music hasn't made its way to my rock yet, then it's just it just hasn't made its way there yet. So that's just how it is. That's how I am.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. That's dude. Good for you, because I'm on top of my rock, reaching for as many things as I possibly can to stick under my rock. Like this year, it's just been a flurry of listening to as many albums as I possibly can, and just like getting as far into it as I can. Because like last year, I got so bummed out. I didn't have any. I wanted to make a Facebook post that had my top 10 albums of the year.
Right.
And I came up with like 7.
Okay.
And that bummed me out. So this year,
passion right there.
So
I like that.
Yeah. So this year, I'm gonna have a lot of shit. Like this year, I've listened to so much, I'm gonna have to break it down top 10 by genre, which makes me really happy. But I went overboard, dude. Like I keep count of it all.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I've got I'm at like 240 or 250 since January. Like
Damn.
I'm just listening to fucking everything.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I only like 60 or 70 of those albums, but still, that's a lot. That's
how it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
and please everybody.
And I gotta be honest, it's one of the reasons that I reached out and listened to your album was I saw it and I was like, hey man, I want to listen. I'm trying to listen to as much shit as possible, and it's done nothing but good things. I don't know if I'm always going to go this hard every year, but this definitely taught me a lot.
Right.
I need to be way more current than I was
most
before.
definitely. And I'm happy to be a part of that experience too.
Yeah.
It's been it amazes me anytime anybody listens to my music or knows my name or comes to my show. It absolutely blows my mind, and I'm like, damn. You could be anywhere in the world, or you could be listening to anybody, but you choose to, pay attention to me for a second, and that's just really, it's just really humbling. I feel like.
So, what are your kind of thoughts on SoundCloud? I know that's kind of a huge thing unto itself, but for me being in debt, like in with the indie band crowd or whatever, the band scene, no one touches SoundCloud. Everyone's on Bandcamp or Spotify or whatever. But that's because it doesn't really suit them. It doesn't really suit what they're doing. They're putting out albums, EPs constantly. They're not really onto the single thing as much. Now, with what you do, it seems to make way more sense. Like, how is your kind of relationship with SoundCloud?
I just make sure that I got enough minutes on there to upload the song. So it's, if it's an official release of mine, then I, of course, go through my checkpoints and, my checklist, I should say. But I like SoundCloud. I don't really go on there to discover music a whole lot. I just go on there just to upload shit and listen back to it in my car, and just kind of go from there. I shouldn't be so like shallow with SoundCloud. Like I feel like I could discover a lot more music out there, but I just use it for constructional purposes and
that's good.
Getting shit right for me.
SoundCloud's done a lot of good. It's done a lot of bad. Gave us Lil Xan.
Yeah. That's for damn sure.
Which is one of those albums. That was on my list this year. I tried to listen to it. I only made it through like 2 songs. I wanted to listen to the whole thing because I wanted to have that frame of reference.
Right,
man, I listened to the whole fucking album, and these are my exact opinions on it. I made 2 songs in, and I was like, I'm done. I'm out. I can't handle any more or skirts. Like, I'm done. This is not for me.
Yeah. And so that's another reason why I don't really dive really into SoundCloud like that, because you're really you're going into like a lot of it. Yeah, you're going into something completely different.
Speaking of SoundCloud, I'm looking at your SoundCloud right now, and you've got a fucking Glassjaw hoodie on.
Yeah,
that's sick as fuck, dude.
I've done a lot of things in that Glassjaw hoodie. Like I've broken up in that hoodie. I've made a lot of money in that hoodie. I've cried and been sick, and then it's like a hoodie of my life pretty much. Anything so relevant that's happened, I was probably wearing that hoodie.
Dude, I've had the same shit. I had a hoodie that stayed with me. I had it for 5 years, and I wore it every single winter for 5 years straight. And I'm a really big horror dork, if you couldn't tell by all the shit. And
keep it clean though.
Yeah. There's a horror movie called Cannibal Holocaust that came out in 1980. It's just this weird shock value kind of found footage movie from back in the day in Italy. And there's a hoodie with that Rotten Cotton put out, and it's this really nice high quality, and it's got this. It's just the most fucked up shit on the back. Someone's being impaled from their ass to their mouth, and it's they're on a pole, and all this crazy shit behind it. So I wore that thing constantly, and then eventually it was just done. There was too many holes in it. It was completely I had tried to stitch pieces of it back together. It wasn't working. It just
wasn't the same. Yeah.
So I cut out the back piece of it, the big huge logo on the back, and I'm eventually gonna put it on a vest.
Definitely do that.
Keeping that fucking thing with me.
Yes, absolutely. That's sentimental value and everything.
Dude, definitely. That's one of those things where, even leaving it at girlfriends' houses, I was like, I don't know if you're worth it. I don't know if this is gonna work.
I do that. I have a few hoodies at Laura's place, and she wears them, and I wear them. I just I'll keep it over here because not making that. Big jump of moving in together. So I'm let me just keep something over here.
Yeah.
And, but back to the whole Glassjaw topic. I actually have for the listeners. It's on my inside of my left arm. What is this? The tricep, I guess.
It's the inner bicep.
Yeah, it sucked. It absolutely sucked. It hurt so much. But
I got one on my inner bicep too. It fucking sucked.
I have the Glassjaw logo tattooed on my arm.
Damn, what is Glassjaw? What kind of significance do they play in your life?
That significance came about when I first moved to Arizona, and
when was that?
This had to be 2009.
Okay.
So I got my first place, I want to say 2011, maybe 2012.
Got it.
And that's when I really started getting into music, and Glassjaw, which is one of the first bands that I just really got into, and my roommates loved them. I've seen them a few times, and I was like, this band is just really inspiring to me. And I call myself listening to them every day, and I was like, this logo is really cool. I was really young, I had the money, and I was like, fuck it, let me get the tattoo. So
Fuck yeah,
you know,
dude.
it's really dope. Yeah, but my favorite band right now is definitely Mild High Club.
Yeah?
Definitely Mild High Club.
That album was very interesting.
So, yeah, their Skip Tracing album really had me hooked. So that I want to say that one came out maybe like in 2016, maybe 2017.
Is that the one that I heard the one that's got the like the animated cover?
Yeah, it's like kind of like
it's like in a room?
dusky colors, or it's like blue.
I think it's like
orange,
blues
and
and oranges.
Yeah.
Well, let me find it. Yeah. So Mile High Club, no, not slang for people who have sexual intercourse while I'm broad. I'm looking for the band. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I heard it. It was cool. It wasn't like it's one of those things where it wasn't for me, but I totally recognize that it's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Like I do that with a lot of music, especially this year listening to so much. I'll listen to an album and I'm like, yeah, this is phenomenal. I can totally see the talent. I can absolutely see why people would be into this.
Right,
but it's
right.
just I'm not going to return to it. It's just not for me.
I'm like that too with like a lot of music. Like if it doesn't like move me or resonate with me, I'm not gonna like say, oh, this sucks, I don't like it. You know, I'm just gonna like just leave it be and just, you know, let people enjoy things. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, man, I've been finding it really hard to not be skip tracing. Yeah, that's the one with the
skip tracing.
so it's like that really kind of old like 80s 90s style.
I love it.
Art.
Drug music. I love it.
Yeah,
not
it is
drug
drug
music,
music.
but like shit. I absolutely
It's
love
drug
it.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great, man. I really really did enjoy it. But yeah, back to what we were talking about just a second ago about like I've been having like I recently came out as a hipster. Like, I just accepted it. Like, I've been hearing it from every angle my entire life, and I was always like, no, fuck you guys. I don't wear scarves or whatever. Wear pointed shoes. And then I, like, eventually, I was like, all right, fine, I admit it. And I, like, put it on Facebook, and I got, like, way stupid amount of attention for it. And I was like, God damn it, all these people agree with me. And then someone commented on it. I think it was someone commented on it and was like, Matt, you have a podcast. Like, how the fuck did you not know this before? And I was like, oh, dude, all this
my
shit.
God.
Oh, yeah. And like it was one of those things where like every single person around me was like, I'm so happy you accepted this because we've been talking about this for years. And the hardest thing about being what would be labeled a hipster is like I don't want to be an elitist when it comes to art and when it comes to music. It just comes so naturally to me.
I feel you.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Like and I'm self-aware of it.
And you can't fight it.
I do everything that I can, but like I see someone listening to Nickelback, and I'm like, "Fuck you, you idiot! Like you're a fucking idiot." I can't. Like it's so hard for me to divorce that, and I know that it's not real, and I know that music doesn't make who somebody is, or art doesn't make who somebody is. Like, but at the same time, part of me is like, it kind of does.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I definitely it is an extension of you. I feel like if you're a musician, now I've never met a Nickelback fan, but you know they sell out stadiums.
I know.
You know, hey, I can't. I have no explanation for that. So
I know. I've just like that's been my thing lately. Is like my kick right now is try not to be an elitist. Just try to. Like let people enjoy whatever they're gonna enjoy. Right. Don't get annoyed. that was my other thing. Is one time someone was talking about something that I don't even care about, and they were talking about like musicians or bands or something. Yeah. And I remember getting like emotionally like upset at it. Like I became emotionally invested into this conversation that's happening with these two people who I don't give a shit about. It was like at work or something. And I found myself like actually upset about it. And it was at that moment that I was like, okay, we need to like go to therapy. We need to figure something out, because you cannot get angry every time you find out that someone in your proximity still listens to Bullet for My Valentine. Right. Like you can't get that's not what it was, but like that would be an example. Like you can't really get angry about that. So I'm trying, man. I'm trying really fucking hard to not care.
Yeah,
but
you just gotta like, you know, just leave it be. You know, if it happens, let it. If it doesn't happen, let it. You know, if it comes, let it. If it goes, let it.
I know.
You know?
I was such an angry, like angsty teenager. I think it just like it's part of that is still like in the back of my brain, like that, like my primordial tail just won't fall off. Like I'm still trying to grow thumbs.
Like I've literally typed in comments on topics I had nothing to do with, and I'm like, never mind.
Me
Let me
too.
just chill, you know.
That's been me lately, especially since the podcast has gotten started. And I've gotten more, like, my own name has gotten more recognition.
Oh, yeah.
The more I'm like, okay, I probably shouldn't say this. This is going to turn into a dumpster fire. I can't get involved with this.
Right.
Because, I mean, I don't know about you, but, like, sometimes I'll find myself having very strong opinions about shit that I don't know anything about. Like, I just, like I'll have, like, this gut reaction. Like, I really have an opinion on this. And then I'm like, no, you don't. Like you disagree with this person is saying, but you have literally nothing to back that information up whatsoever.
Yeah, like, it'll get to a point where it's like, you know, it doesn't quite make sense, but you don't know why.
Yeah,
you know, it's like you want to rebuttal it, but you're like, well, I don't know why it doesn't make sense, but it doesn't. You know,
it doesn't.
Let me let you know that it doesn't make sense. So
yeah, sometimes the best argument you have is just that you disagree. Like,
right.
I'm a real big fan of comedy, stand-up comedy. One of my favorite guys is Jim Jeffries. He's an Australian dude. And he has this bit about gun control, which pissed off so many Americans because he's Australian. He's talking about gun control. But he has this great bit about, it's like a 10-minute bit. It's what really kind of shot him up. And one of the things he says in this thing about gun control is, you don't really, like, 'cause he goes through all the arguments that people who are, like, pro-gun have. And, like, I'm kind of I don't really have a strong stance on this one way or another.
Yeah, neither do I.
But, he's making a point about, so he runs through all the gamut of the talking points and he obliterates all of them in his style. And then at the end of it, he's like, so what are you left with? What argument are you left with? Fuck off, I like my guns. And he's like, and that's, we would actually have to debate you on that. Like, it's not the best argument, but it's all you've got. Like, at least that, like, just be honest. Just be honest. Like, I like guns. I like it. That's, like, stop trying to make it about some other bullshit. Like, that's how I feel. I'm like that with a lot of stuff where I'm just like, I just like it. I'm sorry.
It's like like the whole, like, protest, like in the NFL, like, you know, people, like, treating the flag like it's something more than it actually is. You know, like, what's this really about?
Yes.
You know, so
totally.
I tend to not get emotionally involved in that kind of thing because I'm like, oh well, it's not really. They're not going to understand or see it from your point of view. You know, you're either on one side of the fence or you're on the other.
That's the hardest thing. I read this. Someone was talking online the other day about everything that you say to someone else is going to see through their perspective. 100% of the time. 100% of the time, it's always going to be seen through their own way of thinking.
Right.
And when it comes to arguments, like, because I'll see people debating really important topics, but they're like calling these people motherfuckers, and they're like yelling all this stuff, and like you're a feminazi, and then but you're a fucking misogynist, and like, and I see it all the time. And it's like, this is literally the worst possible way you could go about trying to convert someone to your point.
Right. Exactly.
Like immediately making them defensive, immediately making them offended. Like, that is. All that's going to do is release the anger that you have. All that's going to do is maybe make you feel better, but it's not going to fix anything.
Not a whole lot of good comes out of that.
No.
You know, too many people try to listen to someone with the intent to respond, and actually, you know, instead of the intent to just listen and understand where they're coming from. You know, like, you know, people will say 3 words and be like, okay, I already know what I'm going to say already.
Yeah,
you know,
and they
I already have my comeback.
All they think about is how they can craft their comeback and they stop listening.
And then, like, everything that they're being told, like, it just completely goes through one ear or the other, and they don't understand that. And it's like, well, I made my point, but you weren't listening. Like, you were just
waiting for your
trying
turn to
come back. Yeah. And, like, you know, the keyboard warriors are all like, you know, they don't see it from both sides. So,
well,
like,
the worst thing about the keyboard warrior thing is that they can just Google every one of their points beforehand, like while they're waiting. So one person says something, and then they'll cross-reference it with what they can find on the internet.
Right.
And the other person does the exact same thing, both of which probably are coming from biased sources.
Right.
And they're like, because what's funny is you can go online and you can Google why, I don't know, something like
anything.
You can Google
anything.
Why guns should be illegal.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll find amazing articles that all make very valid points about why guns should be illegal.
Right.
And then you can look up why guns should be legal, and the exact same polar opposite.
Polar opposite.
Like,
yeah.
and that's all they're fucking doing. And I know people, man. I know people like that where I've been in conversations and they'll go away for like 5 minutes.
Right.
And then they'll come back and they're suddenly super informed. And I'm like, fuck you. I totally know what you just did.
It's funny. Like I'm just so hands off with that shit.
You
It's
seem like it, man. You're just kind of chilling.
Yeah.
You're in your own, like under your own little rock, so to speak.
I mean, it's it's a homebody. It's just
Yeah.
me being
What
a
is that?
homebody,
What is that
know?
kind of? Is that what the what is the idea behind Homebody
It's
Friends?
I mean, the idea is just how it even came about is I was actually on my way to a party, I think, and it was like 8:30 at night, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta put on pants and I gotta put on clothes and I gotta walk out the door and shit like that. And I was driving to this birthday party, I think it was, and it was like maybe a year ago actually. And I was like, I just want to go home. And the whole time I'm driving there, I'm like, I just want to go home. And I get there and I make my rounds, and like 20 minutes later I leave, right? I don't care. I didn't want to stay the whole fucking time anyways. I don't care.
Yeah.
Give me shit all you want. I don't care. But as soon as I left, I was like, all right, cool. Like I'm so excited to go home, and like I wish I had more friends who are also homebodies.
Yeah.
And the name just naturally came out. Like, I need more homebody friends.
Yeah.
And I went home that night, and I just I made like this closed Facebook group. And
Yeah, I'm in it now. Yeah. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. And like it's self-sustaining. So like I'm not like reaching out to people saying, hey, join Homebody Friends. I'm just like, hey, it's here if you want it.
Yeah.
There's a whole network of people here that are just like you.
That's
and
cool.
if you want to come in on it, by all means. If not, do you. So
yeah, man.
it's just a really relaxed and not even happy go lucky, because we talk about some heavy shit in there too.
For sure,
but
yeah.
But it's just no pressure, no anxiety or anything like that. It's just hey, we're all homebodies, we're all chill, and you can come here, judgment free zone. It's not anything that you can really. I don't really know the words I'm looking for, but you don't have to really feel any kind of like stress or any pressure to join or anything like that. It's always going to be there, and everybody in there is just like all accepting. Like it's crazy how much it's grown.
That's cool.
In a year, and like I don't invite people into it. Like people just, all the other people do that,
Oh,
and I just
that's
accept it.
cool.
I ask the question, "Are you a homebody?" They'll say yes or no, and I either approve or decline.
When
that's
you said,
really it.
Now, when I read that, I think I just read it as like, "Are you a homebody?" Like, "Are you down with WOLFZiE?" Like, "Are you down with the new record?"
No,
and I was like,
not,
yes.
Not I mean, it certainly plays in a part, but I don't like push that on people.
Yeah.
I push the brand, and I push the culture, and I push the lifestyle, and I push the mindset of being a homebody, and how it's okay to be a homebody, and you should embrace that whenever you can. And that's really the idea behind the group. Sure, I did make a record that's called Homebody Friends, but that's not really like my selling point. That's
totally
like, almost like an ulterior motive. But it's like, no, like I embrace this project just like you do. So
holy shit, you have 695 members in this thing. God damn.
And there's about like 40 more people that are just waiting to be confirmed.
Yeah,
I just have to like go through that shit. So.
47 of my friends are in this group. That's fucking crazy. I didn't know that. I just like accepted it, and then like, dude, that is super cool. We got some cool names in here, man. I'm trying to look through and see if there's anybody on this show or people who I know or anybody on the show I can shout out. I mean, I know Mr. W, obviously. Like, he's never been on the show, but I mean,
shout out Mr. W.
Yeah, dude. Like, I've played plenty of shows with Paper Foxes over the years. They were one of my first favorite locals when we first jumped onto the scene.
Oh yeah.
And that was before they released fucking LSD Dreamland or whatever the fuck that album.
I think
that
I
EP
vaguely
was
remember
called.
that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like it's cool. I don't actually know any of these people because I don't
good,
know
though.
like any of my Facebook friends.
That's good. That's
Scott
good.
Mitting.
Yeah.
I know Scott Mitting from fucking he's a fuck, I forget his like. Is it Wayward Son?
Wayward Son.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
his project name. Yeah,
I saw him perform in 51 West, and it was awesome.
I spent a lot of time with him and his wife.
Yeah,
and they're really awesome people.
He seems like a cool dude.
Yeah, definitely. If you get the chance to meet him or ever see him around, definitely say hello to him. He's one of the nicest people ever, and he's been nothing but good to me ever since I met him. So
that's awesome, man.
Definitely a good person to get with. Yeah,
Mitchell Hillman.
Classic. Mitchell's. I love Mitchell. Like he wrote a damn love letter about the memory department.
Yeah,
and that was like my first like release, and he said that about it, and I was like, oh my god, like this is a moment for me. Like I wanted to cry, but I was like, don't be a little bitch about it. Like just act like you've been there before. Just be humble about it.
Totally.
But and on the inside, I was like, "Yo, this is
dude,
dope,"
I know. They're not up anymore, but I used to have. He wrote about us in Java twice, and I still have both of them, and they used to be hanging up.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, dude. He was one of the first people to take notice of the band.
Yeah.
He took us under his wing super early, and we ended up winding up in like New Times articles and stuff like that, just because. He pushed us, man. Like,
he pushed me the same way too. Like, I think he found out about the memory department because he came to the release show, and the release show did really well.
Where was that?
It was at the Rogue Bar.
That's why I was about to say it was at Rogue, wasn't it? That motherfucker.
It was at Rogue Bar.
Loves some Rogue.
He ended up writing about it, and then like months later, the same EP, the memory department, was actually ranked like I think it was like not fourth. I think it was 8th out of like the top 40 EPs released by indie artists in Phoenix.
Wow, that's cool.
So that was in the New Times. That was really cool. I don't know if it was him or not, but I think he had something to do with it because of the publicity he got from it. Like
he's a tastemaker. Really awesome. Yeah, he's one of those guys who just like puts it out there and then everyone else sips on it.
Yeah, definitely. And like I didn't really like send it to him until he like took interest to it. Like so, I'm not like I guess I should start spoon feeding people my music, but. But I've never been that type of person to like say, here, listen to this.
Yeah. How do you go about doing that? I mean, like, obviously you don't take the hanging outside of QT to give everyone my mixtape for a donation guy. But like, what do you how do you get it around?
I make it in like as organic as possible, really. I make it available, and I put it out everywhere as as much as I can. And as far as like sharing it and getting people to like it and getting people behind it, that just comes from just having it available, telling people where it is, not being in the DMs or anything like that. It's definitely an art, I would say. It
really is.
It's like you have to be persistent and patient, and that combination alone would drive any clear-minded person almost insane, I would say, because it's like you want to put yourself out there, but you don't want to be annoying either. You don't want to be like a pest to anybody. So it's, I just figure it out and do what I can. Yeah.
It really sucks to say this, but I feel like the best way to do that is just to be a generally liked person. Like there's some people.
Definitely.
There's some
first.
Like there's some people I know who. Like he's been on the show before. Cody Milford, Good Samaritan, is his like spoken word name or whatever. He is one of those guys who some people like. I feel like if Cody wasn't Cody, but there was somebody else doing exactly what he does, everyone would unfollow him.
Oh, wow.
But because people love him, and he's sweet and he's funny and he's very self-deprecating and. He does it in this masterful way. He does it just in the most like classy way where, yes, every single thing on his story is about the show that's coming up. Yes, he's definitely messaging you for tickets. Yes,
right.
But like he does it in such a way, it's not copy-paste into every messenger, which I'm definitely fucking guilty of in the past. He's not doing it that way. He literally sits down and spends time making sure that every single thing that he does is personalized and funny and interesting. And unfortunately, a lot of people can't do that. And that sucks. But I feel like if you're going to go down the route of hustling your ass off and really being in people's faces, you have to be likable. You know?
Yeah, most definitely. I don't think I have any any enemies or any kind of like beef or anything like that.
That's
I mean,
good.
any kind of differences I've had with anybody in the past, I've made my peace with.
That's
and,
good.
I've accepted apologies that I've never got. So it's not healthy to be, all about the clout. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, you know what? If you don't like me, cool. I'm all right with that.
Well,
So
I've been hearing this around a lot lately. How would you define clout?
I honestly just got like familiar with that term
Because I've been
but,
hearing it in songs, but
it's
like,
it's like you're capitalizing off of somebody's name by doing something stupid. So like for instance, like that one kid that went on Instagram and went on Twitter and said I just shot XXX. And
did I hear about this?
yeah, like the evidence that this kid posted was alarming, and I'm like, yo, like,
Oh, is this
what
the one
the fuck
who
are
like
you
they were
doing?
like in the same area at the same time? And shit like that? I
Yeah.
saw about that. Is
Yeah.
that not real? Did he not actually kill him?
Well, I mean, we haven't heard anything about it. Like all his social medias got like
Wow.
taken down, and like all we have now is to work off of just screenshots.
Holy
So,
shit!
Um,
So got it. Okay, so it's kind of like coattail riding a little bit.
yeah, it's definitely cloud chasing. Like, or Tekashi 6ix9ine. People are always trying to like do some dumb shit just to get relevant off his name to get like a response.
To get relevant off someone's name who's only going to be relevant until tomorrow, and then like,
So it's like I punched Drake in the face. Fuck Drake or something like that. That's cloud chasing because now people pay attention to you because of what you're doing towards the bigger person.
yeah.
So it's like yeah, it's negative, but any publicity is publicity. People have eyes on you now. So that's kind of like cloud chasing.
It's scary because it's so like it's so based around the now. Like none of
Right.
these things have any kind of future endeavors lined up for them. It's just like how many likes can I get on this post? How many
Right.
things?
Yeah.
And I understand that that's kind of where we've gone, but I feel like it's important. You do need to pay attention to how many likes you get on which post and how many followers you have. Like
Mhm.
I do truly believe, as someone who's constantly hustling social media, those things are absolutely important.
Right.
But they're not everything. You need to
Yeah.
do way more than just that. But that is like an integral
Precisely.
piece of the puzzle.
Precisely, yeah. I'm not really too big on social media. I'm more into like organic interactions and music and all that good stuff.
It's working
so,
for
you. Social media it doesn't play as big of a part as it needs to. But it's never really been about social media for me. It's been about making a good song. It's been about making a good connection and making a good impression on someone, like in person. When I meet people, sure we'll take pictures, but it's not about that. It's about having that genuine connection with that person and just being there in the moment with that. So.
Do you have any interest in being? This is kind of a weird question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any interest in being like a completely self-sustaining artist that's beyond just the fact that yes, everybody wants to be a self-sustaining artist? Like, does like every single, for the most part, everyone who's making art, they don't want to work their day job. They just want to make
Right,
art all the time.
right.
But most of them aren't actually interested in putting the steps and the hustle forward in order to make that happen. Are you interested in like really fucking going for it, like to try to make this your thing, or is this just kind of like you love it, you're doing it, and kind of seeing what's happening?
I'm definitely pushing towards making this a lifestyle for me. It's it's not the most traditional way that I'm going about it, but I'm naturally like that. If anybody's doing it or if anybody can do it, I probably won't do it, and I probably don't want to do it. So I'm gonna find the most unique and interesting way to achieve my goals and see myself live on my dreams without doing it the way that everybody else did it. So I just really like to stand out, and Laura tells me all the time it's because I'm an Aquarius. I don't know anything about that shit, so I'm like, all right, whatever, cool. But yeah, like I definitely want to push it to get on the road. I've never played outside of Arizona, and I really want to spread out the homebodies and really push that message, like stay inside, be a homebody, it's all good, and then support the music as well. So it's it's a journey.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm not the, you know, most experienced or, you know, the most educated, you know, man, but, you know, I'm figuring it out.
Yeah, dude. Like,
you know,
it reminds me, because you're talking about being a homebody. I was going to bring this up earlier.
mm-hmm.
There's Tom Segura is a comedian who I love, and he has a new stand-up special out, and he opens his special by being like, "Man, I wish I was home right now," and which is like everyone's like,
right?
"What the fuck?" And he's like, "But let's be honest, like everyone kind of just wants to be home. Like you guys are here, you're excited, you're at the show, but in the back of your head, you're going, fuck, I really hope you wrap this up soon because I want to go home." And he's like, and that's the meaning of life. It's not some kind of deep, crazy meaning. It's just fuck this, I want to go home. And
put that on the shirt.
And I was thinking, I was like, man, like that's what you're talking about. And I feel that like I don't realize that I'm a homebody until I leave and something like bad happens.
Oh yeah.
Like if I'm out and I'm having a good time and like I'm playing a show on the road and everything's cool, like yeah, man, this is great.
Right.
But the second anything happens, I'm just like, I wish I was home. I want to go home. This is not for me. I want to go home. Like, and that's when I see my true colors. I'm like, fuck, like, because I always wanted to be like this road warrior who's like out like 8 months of the year, like this Henry Rollins fucking guy, you know. And
I mean, you still could. Like, I've seen pilots, not pilots, but like, you know, stewardess and shit like that in PJs and, you know, slippers and all that good stuff. So
I don't know. I just it's so crazy. I never thought I would be like shackled to home, but I totally am. And I mean, better for worse.
Shackles, that's like a strong term. I would say, you know, you can be comfortable in your own space because I've lived in some toxic places, and it's like, no, I don't want to be here, but you know, you have to make it what you love. You know what I mean? Like you have to create that space, and you know, make sure that space is, you know, the best space possible for you because that's where you're gonna be. Mm-hmm. You know, most of your time, anyways. You know, we spend half our life sleep. Why not make it comfortable? You know, why not make it an enjoyable experience? And, you know, I feel like, you know, being a homebody really, you know, helps that and enhances that. You know, there's so many benefits to being a homebody. I'm not even going to go into specifics, but, you know, it's literally underneath everyone's noses, but nobody acknowledges it. You know what I mean? You know, people think that being a homebody is like boring or lazy or anything. But it's like, no, like plenty of people work from home, you know. The fucking president's a homebody. You know, his ass can't go nowhere without having 6 layers of security with him. So, you know, his ass is not going to want to go many places. So, you know, why not stay your ass at home, do what you need to do, and just, you know, not fuck anything else up.
That's funny as fuck. I mean, think about it. Like, by most standard definitions of, like, you can't get bigger than the president. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you can be bigger than the Beatles by being the president. And I feel like if you're the president, like if you're all about entrepreneurial everything and you're trying to get up off the ground, you're looking up at the greats. What are the greats doing? Who's the biggest great? Unfortunately, it's our current. It's the president. But regardless of what president it is, that is kind of the idea. This is the top tier guy.
Yeah,
he works from home. That's a good point.
That's all it does. Legitimately, all he does. Like, you don't see him outside at the beach or, you know, anything like that. You see him at the tanning salon, but you don't see him at the beach or anything like that. Or
even like George W. Bush was always golfing, but he was golfing on one of his ranches at one of his homes.
at home. That's the thing. At home. You know, that's the kicker right there. That's great. You know, that's what I want to spread, and that's what I want to get people to, you know, get behind. Like, I was actually making shirts for Homebody Friends, right? And I was looking all over for like leads and, you know, inspiration. And I'm like, there's nothing here. Like, nobody's paying attention to homebodies. And I'm like, oh shit, this is another market. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm about to create. Like, I have to create this market. So
don't give too much away.
That's
don't give your brand.
Another. Yeah, that's another thing. But, you know, like Homebody Friends is already like, you know, established to the point where people can reference that. I feel like, you know, it's not, you know, Tommy Hilfiger or anything like that, but you know, at the same time, it's like it's still a mindset that people are familiar with within, you know, Phoenix as well as, like, you know, other places in the world too.
That's so crazy that you found something that, like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but originally you found something that would be a perfect idea as far as something that you could do musically or artistically. Like, this is something that I could represent, and then you immediately just saw it as a brand.
No. I took my personality and then turned it into a brand. I'm
That's
trying
awesome.
to capitalize off of it.
Fuck
and I made the record Homebody Friends because it's like, it just made sense to me. Like I didn't have to try it. I didn't have to fight it. I didn't have to brainstorm. I was like, yep, already got a picture, already got the font, already got the name. And like it all came about, like the name and like the track titles, those are all like, they all came like organic. Like I didn't have to like try or struggle or anything with that. It just kind of happened. And I was like, this is absolutely perfect. Like why not name it Homebody Friends? Why not name, the most popular track on the EP? Why not name it Homebody Friends? Not only does this help me, with the music, but it helps with the group, it helps with the name, helps with the brand. So there's like multiple avenues of money right there that I'm just capitalizing off of. It just has to, it takes time to grow. Rome wasn't built in a day, so I'm just letting it kind of grow, kind of go from there.
It's doing great, man.
Yeah,
I'm super excited. Like you're someone who originally I discovered a couple years ago as just a name, and I was like, damn, that's a good name. Originally, I was straight up. I was like, damn, like stylized, right? Looks great. This is.
Thank you.
I totally thought that you were and this is a reoccurring thing with my guests. I totally thought you were way bigger than you were. Like when I first, like a couple years ago, when I first saw your name, just because like you obviously, now that I'm talking to you, I realize like you're a smart motherfucker when it comes to like how to do stuff. And originally when I saw like your look, you had the long hair and the whole thing and the name, and I was like, okay, this guy's legit, totally, like, he's whatever. And then so yeah, it stuck in my head, like you do have a knack for branding, because this is something where like I see things all over the internet constantly, and it stuck in my head. Like the way you looked stuck in my head, your name stuck in my head. Like it works. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, the name came about like I was like just getting into DJing, and like it got to the point where like people started making flyers and wanted to put my name on there, and I was like, I don't have a name. Like, Brandon Jenkins isn't like a really attractive name. You know what I mean? It's not really, it's not Calvin Harris. It's not anything like that. So I was like, all right, well, I need to figure out something. And then my friend at the time, she's still my friend, and they're still my friend. I have to use pronouns now, so it's all good. I respect that.
Be careful.
Yeah, I respect pronouns. So yeah, they're still my friend, and they came about and was like, well, what do you like? Show me 3 or 4 things that you like. And at the time, I was like, Nutella. Really like Nutella. Still do. Wolves were my favorite animals at the time, and I was really into horror movies. So she was like, well, we can't use Nutella because that's like a little bit of a copyright issue. So we can combine, the word wolf with some sort of aspect in a horror movie, like a zombie. So WOLFZiE came about that way. Yeah,
it works.
Yeah, and then cut my hair in April, because I know you mentioned the long hair and everything like that.
Yeah. I was gonna say, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, it was just time. Like I had been contemplating it for like the past 3 years, and every time like it came to like go do my hair, I was like, no, I'm not ready. And then like one day, like it was like a week before I cut my hair, like all of it off, I was like, you know what, I'm ready. I didn't fight it. I didn't really think twice about it. I was just like, you know what, it's ready. Let's go do it.
Good for you, man. Yeah, I had hair like almost down to my shoulders for a long time. I've always had really, really, like all throughout high school, junior high, like I was known as like the kid who like had really moppy, gross, fucking just like thick, wavy, blonde, unruly hair. Like that was just me. I didn't give a shit. And then I got a real job, and I was like, all right, well, fuck. I think what happened was like I got a real job that I actually liked.
Right.
And then I started to do good at it, and people around me started recognizing that I was doing good at it, and I was like, all right, well, fuck. Like I look like shit, but like everyone is so respectful towards me, and I should clean up a little. So, but here's the thing: is like I always thought it was always all or nothing with me. I was either long hair that's gross and gangly, or it was just straight up buzz cut. Like there's no in between. And then it wasn't until I started dating Alicia where she's like, I go to a barber, because she went to a barber at the time. At the time, she had like a real cool kind of hair, alternative haircut thing going on, and she's like, I go to a barber. Like, just go to a barber. And I was like, I didn't even, that literally 20+ plus years of living, it never occurred to me like barbers are a thing. Like, they do like cool stuff, right? So I went to a barber and he gave me some fade or whatever the fuck, and you know, it's like the most common thing ever right now, but it works, I guess. It
totally works.
It works.
I try to get the fades
right
too. Yeah, definitely. Like, you know, with the lineups and, you know, the designs and everything like that. You know, I don't get too crazy with it, but, you know, I like it. Like, you know, the option of having a fade or, you know, anything else with my hair. I'm actually letting it grow out.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Are you cycling again, or what are you doing with the hair?
I haven't decided yet. I just know for now, like, I do want to grow out the top half of my hair and just kind of fade the sides and just keep it cleaned up. Right now it's a little, you know, bushy. I'm just letting it grow out so I can actually, you know, line it up again, and so that way it looks a little bit sharper. I would say. Yeah. But yeah, like, you know, I'm really just, you know, just kind of feeling out the kind of like different designs and like the look and feels of it, and having a haircut. I haven't had my haircut in like 10 years. Yeah. Before you know, this spring, so. You know, I'm really just getting right back into it.
Did you just have like a fro before that, or did you just go straight to you? It was braided, right?
No, it was just dreads. Like,
it was just dreads.
It was like I had a really, really small.
I was gonna say they're really
hair,
fine.
And then like I just twisted it from there and just let them grow.
What? They don't look like, from the pictures that I saw, they didn't look like real thick. Like,
no,
they looked kind of like
I had to like stay on top of it, or else they would just break off. But yeah, like, you know, staying on top of it, getting it done, you know, monthly or bi-monthly or whatever. Yeah, they'll look like that. They'll look real thin and real, you know, real fine and everything like that. But I was like, this is getting a bit of a hassle. And
oh shit, they were dreads. Damn. I mean, it's not like I didn't believe you. Like, I was like, bullshit. I know more about his hair than he does. But like, now I'm seeing it, and I'm like, oh, okay, got it. But they're not like as like thick as the dreads that I'm used to.
No, they're not like Bob Marley or anything like that. Yeah. They're just, you know, well, they were well kept. I still have them, you know, for special occasions. One, it's actually kind of weird because like people will ask like, hey, I just bought this off of Bandcamp and can I have one of your hair and like one of your dreads? And I was like, you know, next time I see you,
do you keep them? Did you keep them?
I have them all in the bag. Yeah. And you know, I tell them, you know, I'm just like, yo, if you really want one of my dreads, like, I'll give it to you. Like, I have hundreds of them, but it was a little weird. That was probably the weirdest thing someone has asked me for, is like, as far as like merch goes. But
I mean, fuck, like, if I were like, this is probably why I'm like, I don't know, if I was in your position, I would totally keep those on the merch table. I'd pin a couple to them, be like, dreads are X amount of dollars.
Oh
like,
man, that's so.
Let's do it, man. Like, come because you know people will fucking remember that.
Yeah, they definitely will. Like, I'm trying to get to like, you know, like Justin Timberlake had like a half-eaten piece of toast on eBay that sold for like 50 G's or something like that. Like, I'm trying to get that.
I totally remember
relevant, that. You know, but with dreads. Like,
yeah.
You know, just one piece of dread, you know, 20 G's. You know, I'm trying to get that relevant.
Oh my god, yeah. When I was like 16, I wanted dreads super bad, and I was like, this is before I would have gotten yelled at for cultural appropriation. Like 2010, it was totally cool. Like, no one gave a shit. So I was like, I like took my hair and I would literally just like
just backcomb it.
Yeah, backcomb. And I would like sit on my parents' like we had the family computer or whatever was downstairs, and I would just be like fucking with it on the computer all night, watching YouTube videos and shit, and just
right.
And eventually I just gave up. My mom wasn't cool with it, and it was and literally zero friends that I told about it were like, yeah, you should totally do that. Everyone's like, no, please don't fucking do that. So I never did it, but it's really totally for the better, because my hair wasn't long enough anyway, so I would have had like the weird, like, you know, kind of weird nub things.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I feel you. I mean,
the Matrix 2 things.
Like, this on the, you know, the social, what would you call it, social appreciation or cultural?
Cultural appropriation.
Cultural appropriation. Like, you know, with that, like, I tend to not really, I'm not going to say resonate with that, but, you know, if I see, you know, a white person with dreads, I know how long they've worked on that, and I know the amount of time and money that they spent on that. So I'm going to, you know, find something that I like about that, and I'm going to, you know, appreciate that as much as I can. You know, if it does look a little funky, sure, but, you know, I'm not going to sit here and bash someone for having dreads, you know, even though they're not, you know, a person of color. Like, yo, you know, spent a lot of your time making this happen for yourself. You know, you spent a lot of time that people have not been looking at you, and, you know, you did the best that you can do to come out in public looking like this. So, yo, good job. You know, you did it. You put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And, you know, for people to, like, kind of bash people like that, it's kind of, like, messed up, you know? It's like, all right, well, you know, what are you really mad at? You don't really know. You don't even know this person. All you know is that they're white and they have dreads. That's all you know about them.
Yeah, my thing with cultural appropriation, like, I don't have a crazy controversial, like, stance on it. My stance is just, like, aren't we, like, a melting pot? Wasn't that the whole idea? Which is to share shit? Like, isn't that the whole thing? Like, I totally understand if I was Hispanic and because here's the thing. Imagine, like, for the people for the social justice warriors, to use, I guess, which is kind of like, people kind of hate that now, but to use that phrase, like, imagine you're Hispanic and you've been stopped by police and you've been harassed and all this shit, and it's bullshit, SB 1070, the whole thing, and you're super angry and repressed, and you walk into Spirit Halloween and there's, like, the sombrero guy, like costume, where he's like, I'm fucking done with a mustache and a sombrero. Like, I totally feel that. Like, that would piss me off. Yeah. But I feel like there's a difference. Like, I feel
there's definitely a difference.
Because it's a respect thing. Like, if you're doing it respectfully, you worked your ass off to get your hair a certain way, or you worked your ass off to do a certain thing. Like, whatever. Like, if they're not doing anything to make you feel offended in a way where they're making fun of you, like, whatever. Like, we're supposed to share. That's the idea.
And you can pretty much tell when someone's really reaching for that, you know. But, you know, if it's, like, innocent enough to the point where, you know, a white person has dreads but they're wearing their favorite outfit, then it's like, hey, right on. Yeah, go ahead.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I feel that. When I first started seeing that stuff around, I was like, but that's it's one of those that's one of the conversations that I learned to not get involved with on Facebook. There's a lot of shit, like my Twitter is kind of my cesspool, as far as I just put whatever the fuck I want on my Twitter, because I have zero Twitter presence, and that's a problem. Sorry, we can get out of here soon.
No, you're good.
My Twitter presence is zero. So my Twitter right now is basically me just dumping my shit that if I were to put on Facebook, it would get, like, way too many, like, I would get way too busy with it.
Yo,
like,
same here.
Yeah?
Same fucking here.
My unmitigated thoughts are on Twitter for right now.
Like, I think, like, 3 of my friends they actually engage with me on Twitter.
Same, yeah, like 2 or 3.
I literally dump all, like, my depression and anger and, like, sadness and all the real feelings on Twitter, and then, like, all, like, the, you know, appropriate stuff on Facebook, because, like, I have, like, coworkers and, like, family and shit on there that will actually call me and say, are you okay?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it's the internet.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's a different, like, I learned recently that you cannot talk about circumcision on Facebook at all. Like, I thought religious people and gun nut people were crazy. These penis people are fucking nuts. Like, they will tear your shit apart. And
quite literally.
Dude, it's fucking rough. These, like, anti-circumcision people are so fucking vigilant about it. And, like, it's to the point where, like, every single comment that they would leave, they would link stuff at the bottom. It's like, it just felt like propaganda. It just felt so weird. Like, this is such a, because there's some shit I'll get passionate about. Like, some person doesn't want to vaccinate their kids. I'm like, all right, let's fucking throw down. Like, and my girlfriend's like, can you please, like, not, like, do that shit on the internet? Like, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, this person's an asshole, and, like, they're gonna get everybody polio again. Yeah. But like, and especially because I work with special needs kids. I work with autistic kids. So it's like, you want to fucking talk about vaccines and autism? Like,
you know that shit.
Like, I know that shit. Like, don't even fuck with me. So, I mean, I'm not a doctor or anything, but I know more than you do, motherfucker.
Yeah, you know, most definitely.
So, like, I jump into the vaccine stuff every once in a while, but, like, I didn't know it was that big of a deal. Someone made a joke. Someone made a funny joke status about circumcision, and they were just like, I'm going to get my kid circumcised, but not because I have, like, an opinion on it, just because I don't want to get called dick cheese at school. That was a joke. I was like, that's fucking hilarious.
And I just laughed.
Yeah, it was funny. It was a good joke. There's, like, 200 comments on that fucking thing of people just, like, tearing each other apart. And I had no idea it was going to be that way. So, like, I jumped in with something. And I just got, like, I got ripped to pieces about it. And like, after that, I realized, like, okay, well, I can't talk about that. There's another thing. Like, that's the thing, though. Like, you can't talk about religion or politics, but I have to add another thing. You go to the family gathering, religion, politics, penises. Like, those are the 3 things we cannot talk about at Thanksgiving with Grandma. or are like really angsty 17-year-old.
Oh
whatever.
man. I like jumping into the debate about Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Like I like those.
I don't even know what that is. Tell me what's up with that. I don't follow sports or basketball.
Yeah,
at
it's
all.
definitely basketball. So MJ is kind of like the I don't know the greatest of all time, quote unquote. And then the debate comes in. Well, it's like LeBron has done this, MJ has done that, and I'm like, well, we're arguing over something that will never happen because these two will never be able to play each other, and the circumstances will never be different.
So it's like who would win?
So
it's like
who would win, who does it better, who wears their shoes better, who wears their outfit. Like it's so many silly things that these people argue about. But it brings out the Jordan. People just wake up and defend his honor. Pretty much, and
that's true.
And anytime anybody says anything about LeBron, it could be unrelated to basketball. It's like, well, MJ did it this way, or it's
Simpsons
MJ
did it.
Yeah,
same shit. Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, I kind of chiming into it because it's like I know enough about basketball to where I can kind of hold my own, but at the same time, it's like I kind of I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit of a troll when it comes to that kind of thing. But it's like I don't go to extents of arguing with someone. I can kind of tell when there's extremely biased and they're never going to see it another way. Yeah. So
coming from someone who has zero interest in basketball, I own a pair of Jordans and I couldn't give a fuck less about LeBron James' shoes. So but my thing is I don't like this for lack of a better term, my extremely uncultured ass from who doesn't know a damn thing about fashion or basketball or anything like that. I own a pair of Jordan 1s because I love the old school.
Right.
I love the retros so much. They're white and red. I wish they could be red and black, but they don't make those anymore. So I think they're cool. I like the high tops. I think it works. I think for me as because I grew up just skate shoes since I was a kid. I was a skateboarder when I was a kid. Still to this day, I'm wearing loafers right now, but they're DC loafers. I'm just a skateboard shoe guy. That's what I like.
I feel it.
It works for me. But I saw one of the students at my school wearing some fucking Jordan 1s, and I was like, yes, those are so fucking cool.
Yes.
So I got some, but I don't like the whole what I've been calling space shoe look.
Uh-huh.
A lot of Jordan has a lot of them now, and I feel like LeBron shoes look like that too. They look like space boot shoes. It's not.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just
that's
not
what
for me.
sells.
It's not my style. I guess so. It's just I don't
that's
get
really
it.
That's the ultimate goal to those two people. That what's gonna sell.
Yeah. Do you have anything like that?
Fuck no. I have I think I have maybe 2 pairs of shoes.
Yeah.
And
good for you, man.
I'm also not only am I a homebody, but I'm also a minimalist at heart too. So
good for you, man.
I have maybe 4 or 5 work shirts and a couple of pair of work pants, but I don't. I'm not real lavish on an extensive closet. Or dress or anything like that. It's just I just get what works for me and I stick to that.
Good for you. I'm jealous, man. I wish I was more. I'm I don't know. I told myself for a long time I'm not a consumerist, man. But I like shit a lot. I like stuff. I've always justified it as no, man. I'm not a consumerist. Because it's all pop culture stuff I'm obsessed with. It's all horror movie posters, or it's all DVDs and vinyl, and nah, man, it's art. No, dude. When I'm stressed out, I go fucking shopping. When I'm depressed, I go and buy a vinyl record, make myself feel better, and I'm totally a consumerist, and I feel I wish I wasn't. My girlfriend's like that. My girlfriend's like, dude, I could live in a 300 square foot apartment in Amsterdam and be super happy, and I would lose my fucking mind.
I probably would too.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I need a little space, but it's. But if I had to live in a 300 square foot, I would just make it as comfy as I could.
Man, I'm jealous.
I'm just I'm adaptable, so that's really it. So
hell yeah, dude. Well, we should cut it off. We're hitting the 2-hour point.
All right.
Which is crazy, man. I had a really good time talking to you.
Thank you
likewise for doing this, and thank you for I know you're talking about how you don't you're not super crazy about pushing social media super hard, but motherfucker, you responded to my like tag literally within like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So
like,
thanks for hitting me up.
Thank you for that too. Thank you for listening.
Yeah,
I appreciate you, bringing me out on the show. First time here. I'll definitely want to come back sometime.
Dude,
so,
let me know.
yeah,
Let me know future releases. I always tell people this. Like, I'm not a one and done guy. Like,
right.
You got some shit down the line, let's do it. Let's hook it up. Hit me up a couple months in advance because
most definitely.
I run things like you waited for this for fucking ever. Like,
yeah.
I do
most
things
definitely.
way ahead of schedule. But yeah, dude, I'd be more than happy to have you back on. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
And it's Getting Stoked, right?
Getting Stoked.
Dope.
Yes. So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. I'm trying to think. That's it, man. I'm gonna have some stuff afterwards that'll have some sponsorship stuff at the end.
Nice.
And then yeah, man, it's super nice. And
all right,
finally,
word.
it's
dope.
It's happening, motherfucker. We're doing this thing. It's getting real. All right, thank you guys so much for listening. Get stoked. Skirt. Got to get in there with those Patreon shout outs before we close it off. WOLFZiE is no longer in the studio. Within that 3 seconds, he is gone. We flash forward 2 fucking weeks later, and the Patreon supporters, the patrons of mine, I have to give a shout out to Austin Carson, Bradley Palermo, Audrey. I always want to do that, man. Fuck. Aubrey Hoffer, my mom, my grandma. Courtney Gallegos, Miguel Lopez, Tom Maxwell, Bryce Koppel for donating the wonderful studio lighting that we have in here for the videos. And yeah, man, that's it. I got some t-shirts as well for $10. Got some stickers. I'm going to have some more t-shirts pretty soon. And I don't know if it's going to be announced by the time this podcast is released, but I've got some super motherfucking game-changing news to break to you guys very, very soon that is going to be very, very spectacularly exciting. Guys, we're at the 2-hour mark. I'm going to say goodbye again. Thank you very much. Love all of you. Bye. Aw, shit. Look at that. The episode's over, man. We're done. Episode is finished. Luckily, though, there are plenty of other older episodes hanging around the internet anywhere you'd like to find podcasts. iTunes, podcast apps like Stitcher or Podcast Addict for either the iPhone or the Android. My official Podbean website. I'm fucking everywhere, man. I'm building an empire. Let's take over the fucking world. Anyway, if you've made it this far, I truly appreciate you and encourage you to please reach out and say hello. I'm serious about this, guys. I really want to connect with my listeners. So whether you want to come on the show or not, drop me a line. Hit me an email at gettingstokedpodcast@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think that's it, man. Thank you guys so much for listening. It really, I know I harp on it so much, but it really, truly means everything. So thank you. Get stoked.